Hello YouTubers, I come to you this morning sans glasses and sans hair or beard. I'm feeling a little stripped down of my facial accessories right now. So we're going to talk about the last 3 vocab words and hopefully get you off to your final bit of vocabulary for the weekend and understanding of the Middle Ages in Europe. So let's start with Thomas Aquinas. Then we'll move on to Gothic architecture, and finally we'll look at guilds. So we're looking at some religious aspects and intellectual aspects of medieval Europe with Thomas Aquinas. We're looking at some architectural, some cultural stuff with Gothic architecture, and then finally ending with some economic and social aspects of medieval culture with guilds. So starting with Thomas Aquinas. Thomas Aquinas was a scholar, a religious scholar, and kind of started a type of scholarly activity which we call scholasticism, where he was blending theology and kind of traditional humanism, which is, if we look at the two sides of religion versus kind of higher learning or knowledge, we kind of combining these with Thomas Aquinas. So Thomas Aquinas was a religious scholar, but he was also someone who was very obsessed with the idea that much could be proven and known by humans, and much of faith, which was of utmost importance to him, could be backed up with rational thought. So Thomas Aquinas is, what's the big deal with Thomas Aquinas? He started to show how pervasive religion was in the minds and thoughts of people in Europe at the time. So he was one of the most well-written scholars. Oh, Bruce, are you jealous that you're not here? Come on, bud. One of the most well-written scholars of the time, and his first and foremost thought was that faith was of the utmost importance, but then people could be able to figure out and know, like, the rational, logical way that the universe was kind of put together, while acknowledging the fact that, you know, God himself was very mysterious. Yes, sir. You sure can, yeah. It looks like we got a couple of helpers. This is the reason I was a little bit worried. Come on up. Say hi to the kids. I want to do the crown. Okay, say hi, YouTubers. Hi, YouTubers. Let's put ourselves in a pretty cool place here. So the idea behind, Max, where do you want to go? Do you want to go to the city, or do you want to go to, I don't know, this one? Right here? Yep. There we are. We're right there. Okay, architecture. We're talking about architecture. This is modern architecture, and people have been using architecture to send messages and prove points as a form of art, but it's not this kind of architecture we're talking about. This is modern skyscraper architecture. We're talking about Gothic architecture, and Gothic architecture was influenced, a new architectural style that was influenced by outside, I guess, forces. Hey, Daddy, I want to go to that one. Okay. Muslim architecture was important in development of Gothic architecture. Here we are in another big city. There goes somebody on a scooter. That's kind of crazy. But a motorcycle, what are they doing? This is way too distracting, isn't it, Max? Yeah. But Gothic architecture was a new type of architecture which was meant to basically impress the viewer. Crazy. This is crazy. Let's go back to our normal setting, shall we? There we are. To impress people. It was mainly used to build churches, and it was a movement away from... Hold on. I want to do the crown. The crown? Okay, we'll do the crown. So it was a movement away from the Romanesque style of architecture, which was a lot of domes, and it was a lot of arches, and very kind of rounded looking stuff, which didn't work real well for building huge churches. And since the idea was to build gigantic, huge churches, to impress people with, this new Gothic style of architecture was much... Oh, you got the crown. I do got the crown, yeah. I'm going to get a cowboy hat. Was much bigger and more impressive, and was allowed for greater heights in building. And most of it was... I got your cowboy hat. You do. And most of it was actually used to build churches. Oh, you got my cowboy hat. I did. And I don't know what Bruce is eating. You got my... I got... What? You got Max, my cowboy we still got one more word to do, so let's get through this one more word, okay? You go over here and take the cowboy hat. Go away, cowboy hat. There you go. You got it. Okay. So the last word that we had is guilds. And guilds...
Oh, you got it. Oh.
Max, I'm going to get rid of the cowboy hat. You're being too loud, okay? Can you say guilds?
Guilds.
Guilds were basically trade unions, labor unions, but they were basically used by... I'm going to send you out, okay? Go see Uncle Luke. Go. Go follow Max. Race him. Go. Guilds were used as a way to organize different artisans or craftspeople within a society, and made sure that quality of the products that they were making was up to snuff, which means it was good, and to make sure that the prices they were setting were fair, and to control the products that they were receiving in, because every manufacturer of items needs to import raw goods. And so guilds were really kind of a check on what was developing at the time, which was capitalism. Had any one person started to control the market on any one product, it would have been fairly dangerous for everybody else because it would have put them out of business. So these guilds kind of ensured that multiple people across the board were able to get access to materials and markets and sell their goods and have it at a fair price. So really what guilds would later eventually become, and this is the big picture idea, is they would later become what we see as unions. And unions have always kind of made sure that the man, the one with all the money, doesn't get to make rules that are completely unfair to everybody else. So it kind of balances things out. All right, so Thomas Aquinas was this religious scholar who tried to confirm the existence of God through logic. Gothic architecture was this soaring new, tall, pointy structures. All these churches were basically built as Gothic churches and really became the style that medieval Europe was known for toward the High Middle Ages. And then finally guilds, which is an economic thing which banded together groups of producers and manufacturers and artisans by craft, so that it created a fair and equitable marketplace for them. That's it. Hope you get the rest of your questions done. Gold stars go out to you for watching all the way to the end, and I hope you were able to get through even with the kids coming in and acting a little crazy. But that's life. So be awesome. I will see you tomorrow.